we will continue to introduce Java, and the first topic is data types. So there are typically 4 data types that you have to know. The 3 of them are integers, strings, characters, and we will later introduce doubles and probably boolean. So every data type in Java has a name that we can use to identify it. So these are the commonly used data types for numbers. For the data type int, it is used for integers, for example 25 or -2. And for doubles, they are used for real numbers, and those ones with a fractional part. For example, these fractions. And they are used for any numeric literal with a decimal point, even if it's an integer. For example, if you assign 5, it will be 5.0. And they are also used for any numeric literal written in a scientific notation. For example, if you want like 8 zeros after 3, you can just put 3E8. Okay. So now we'll teach you how to declare a variable. So if you want to declare a variable, you should first declare its type, and then you should declare its name. For example, if you want to get a integer type variable called count, you just write int and then write its name, which is count. And then a variable declaration can also include more than one variable of the same type. For example, if you want to declare 2 variables at the same time, you can just declare both their names after the type name, and then you just use a comma to separate them. So the next one is assignment statements. So assignment statements are used to give a value to a variable. So the syntax is you put a equal sign, and then on its left side it is the variable which you want to give it the value, and the right side is the expression. It could be the value or probably another variable. And the equal sign is known as the assignment operation. So for example, if you want to assign value 10 to the variable called quarters, you just write here. And then if you want to like convert these kind other of coins into cents, you just add them up on the right side, and their values will be added up and will be assigned to the variable cents. So these are the steps in executing an assignment statement. So the Java will first evaluate the expression on the right-hand side of the equal sign, and then it will assign the resulting value on the right side to the variable on the left-hand side of the equal sign. And here is the process. So an assignment statement does not create a permanent relationship between variables. For example, if you assign the value of x to y, and then you change the value of x, the value of y will not change. So you can look at this example. So what is output?
Output is false. 12.
Yes, that's correct. So if you change the value of x, the value of y will not change because their relationship is not permanent. So if you want to change the y here, you can just assign a new value to it. So here's another knowledge called string concatenation. So the meaning of the plus operator depends on the type of the operand. So if you just plus two integers, it will just add the values. But what if you add two strings? It will just link them. For example, if you add the string hello and you add the string world, it will just put them together. So the next line is called typecast. So if you have a integer type variable, and if you want to divide it, for example, it's a odd number, and if you want to divide it by 2 and get a fraction, so you have to first convert it into the double type, and you just add the double type in front of the variable you want to cast, and it will be automatically converted to double type. So the last part is called code blocks. So a block of code is a set of statements that is treated as a single unit. In Java, a block is typically surrounded by curly braces. For example, each class in a Java program is a block, and each method is also a block. For example, we have a program, a class called my program. So we can find two blocks here. The first is a block called this class. It is closed by a curly braces, a pair of curly braces, so it's a block. And here, this main method is also a block. So in each block, we have then we have to mention the scope of the variables. For example, if you declare a variable called I here, so you can only use this variable inside the block that you declared it, which you declared it. For example, the declaration of the variable I is here, so you cannot use the variable outside this block. For example, here, you can only use it inside this block, and this is called the scope of the variable I. So if you want to use the variable I again in another block, you can declare it again, and then probably you should assign other values, and then you can use this variable. So variables that are declared inside a method are local variables. So they cannot be used outside this method because this method is a block. And in theory, we can define global variables that are available throughout the program.
These global variables, they are usually declared outside of any method, and usually we'll use the keyword static to tell Java that it is a global variable. So you can see it here that we used a static int to declare a int type variable which is x, and then we give a value of 10 to it. However, we generally avoid global variables because it can lead to problems in which one method accidentally affects the behavior of another method. Now, we will talk about the last part of today's activity. So it is conditional execution in Java. So the general format is here. First, we'll type an if. Then, we'll use a pair of parentheses to include the conditions that we need. After that, we'll use a pair of curly braces to include the code blocks if the condition is met. If we also want the Java to run another block of code when the condition is false, we'll just type an else. then use another pair of another pair of curly braces to include the code blocks that will be run by Java when the condition is not met. When we are dealing with these conditions, we will use different operators to stand for different conditions. So the Java has also provided a set of operators called relational operators to express these simple conditions. The first is a less than sign. So this one is very easy to understand. 5 is less than 10, and if we need a condition that is the variable called number is less than 10, we'll just type number, then the less than sign, and then 0. So that is pretty the same for the greater sign. If we need a condition that is less than or equal to, we'll just type an less than sign and then type an equal sign. Okay, but you have to notice that if we need a condition that is equal to, you have to type 2 equal signs. So in Java or many other languages, if you only type 1 equal sign, it is often used to give a specific value to a variable. So Java will not take it as a condition. So it is only a condition if it has 2 equal signs. So for example, you have the condition whether the variable sum is equal to 10, or you have the condition whether the character type variable called first char is equal to the character p. Similarly, you will also use the exclamation sign, and then you will use another equal sign. So when you combine them together, it will express the condition that is not equal to. So thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. That is all for today's activity. And I'm sorry that there's some little minor problems with our recording for the last part of our recording, but I have managed to make up for that. Yeah, thank you again for watching.